Like, bro, she got a kid. Look at his back. Oh my god. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another reaction. And today we're going to be reacting to something that's actually very serious in the United States and that doesn't really get talked about in the news. And I have seen that Joe Rogan had a clip on it or whatever, so I wanted to react to it with y'all. So anybody have been knowing about this, y'all can be exposed to it and we can all just, see it together. But yeah, this is Joe Rogan. What's going on with child trafficking and why it doesn't get news coverage? I'm pretty sure we all know why it doesn't get news coverage. Epstein's Island, these freaks and pedophiles, and Hollywood, and y'all know what it is. But yeah, if you want to see more reactions, let us know down in the comments below. But we're finna hop right into this.
The Joe Rogan experience.
Human trafficking. That's another thing that we don't talk about.
Yes, that is another thing that just goes in and out of the news. We were talking about on the podcast the 39 or 35 kids that were rescued in Georgia, and it was a blip in the news. Like how, but meanwhile, I saw 1,000 articles on how mean Ellen is.
Yes.
Ellen's mean. She's so mean. Meanwhile, there's people are out there risking their life to stop human trafficking. They're rescuing children from human trafficking.
Yes.
What is this? U.S. Marshal. Wow, 72 million missing children. Excuse me, 72. Did I say million? 72 missing children across Indiana,
I'm about to say
Iowa, Ohio, and Georgia in the past several weeks. So what is this is where these. So when you read an article like that, U.S. Marshals rescued 72 missing children. This is where all the QAnon people get crazy because they think that Donald Trump is secretly working behind the scenes to stop child trafficking and that there's some secret cabal in the government that wants to enable this shit. And then Facebook bans QAnon and everyone's going crazy now. This child trafficking thing is real. It has always existed.
Did you know that Houston is actually one of the hubs for child trafficking in the U.S.?
Really?
Yes, it is.
Now, how do they find out about child trafficking? How do they infiltrate?
So usually it's local law enforcement that recognizes some abnormalities in the behavior of some of the children. Usually it's certain areas, certain shops, certain businesses that are kind of harboring these people. A lot of them just get stopped because, it's kind of really odd if you're in a van or an 18-wheeler and then there's 20 kids in it. It's weird. And we, as a culture, have got to work with local law enforcement to start to curb this thing because that's where the rubber meets the road. I don't know if you saw the story. I don't know if you could pull it up, sir, but if you saw the story about the flight attendant that helped out.
Yes, the girl.
That recognized the abnormality of a girl on a flight by herself and saved her life.
Yes. And they had the authorities on the ground when the plane landed. Yeah.
Waiting.
Yeah.
We have got to see more of that. And so this is how we talk about in the Army. You got to police your own troops. We got to police our own. If we are just acutely aware of the abnormalities and the behavior of young children who clearly are under duress, we cannot turn a blind eye to it.
Why is this not a bigger story in mainstream news? This is one of the things that concerns me. I don't understand why you're not seeing this on CNN. This is
every day.
Yeah.
Why aren't we seeing this every day on CNN?
Right. That story right there should be leading on
everything.
Primetime news.
Everything.
That should be leading. 72 missing children rescued.
Yes.
So how are they? It can't be just that they're randomly discovering these kids in a truck, or they see a kid on a plane acting weird, and that's how they catch everybody. How are they infiltrating? Because there's also a bunch of guys that are former spec ops guys that are working to fight child trafficking. How are they doing this?
So the solution to this, in my opinion, and I'll get your answer in a second. The solution to this, in my opinion, is actually, and I would be in huge favor of this, of literally starting a separate task force to address this in known hotspots. The other way we're finding out, to answer your question, the other way that we're finding out as to how they're infiltrating.
These dudes out here don't end this
shit. You go to hubs of the world like Houston. You go to coastal cities where people are actually bringing people into the country. That's exactly where you're going to find a lot of it. So if you just kind of hang out around these areas, then you'll see a lot more of it. You'll discover a lot more of it. And so Houston has become kind of one of those hubs because of its geographic location. It's actually near a port city, and obviously people are coming through port cities at a higher rate. Cargo's coming through at a higher rate, and so we're actually able to track that at a better rate if you just kind of hang around the hoop. You'll find it.
Mm. So how are these people communicating?
Oh my goodness.
It seems like if the government can use programs like
Yeah.
Edward Snowden revealed,
Yeah.
like how are they organizing these things, and where are they getting these kids from?
You get these kids from actually all over the world. A lot of them are coming from impoverished communities. A lot of them are coming from impoverished countries, and they're shipping them in. A lot of them come from Asian countries, actually, and
Shit is
a lot
horrible,
of them come
bro.
right here in the U.S. And this is something that dawned on me, is particularly with having two girls now, and that is it's also my job to continue to protect them and all of these young people, and it's actually young boys as well. It's not just young ladies. It's actually incumbent upon them to keep them safe. If we can't keep them safe, then what are we doing here? Literally, like that's our role now. As fathers and as responsible human beings, is keeping our young people safe.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is this: there clearly is an appetite, and there clearly is a culture for it. What I want to do is, how do we place extreme punishment on those who behave in this
Yeah.
and partake in this behavior? I tell you what,
Yeah.
it could be happening right next door to you, to somebody that seems to be a normal human being. But we have got to stop them. We have to stop the predator from feasting on our children.
Yeah.
Please, man.
And it's got to be demonized. Let's demonize that.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. How are these people communicating though? Are
Yes.
they doing it through the dark web? Are they doing it through forums? Are they doing it through? Are they using code? Like, how are they doing this?
I've heard all the above.
Yeah.
I've also heard communicating through just open email inboxes. Right? They don't hit send, but they have the password for multiple emails, and they'll just go in, get the message, and then never open or close it, so it's impossible basically to track. It's just like a draft.
Oh, I see. And so other people have the login
Have the login
to the
and
account,
password, and
and they check it out through the draft. That makes sense. It's funny because the subject, because of things like Pizzagate, the subject
Yeah.
became so taboo that no one wants to talk about it because it sounds
Yeah, they shut that
preposterous,
down
'cause
quick.
Pizzagate was so preposterous. Guy shows up and, with a gun looking for kids that are tied up in the basement, and everybody's like, oh my God.
There's nobody here.
Everyone's wacky. These child sex trafficking fanatics that are
Yeah.
interested in this and that are trying to stop this, they're all crazy people.
Right.
But that's not really the case.
Right.
The problem with something like Pizzagate is that it confuses everybody.
Yeah.
And you start thinking that all this stuff is nonsense. But then these stories, they make it to these websites, and you see that this is a real thing. These are real news stories, but then they don't get talked about in mainstream.
That's right. And then we lose track of who the real enemy is.
Yeah. That's a real enemy, not Ellen.
And that's dangerous. You're right. Not Ellen.
Being mean to her assistant. Just fuck. Just what we care about is so bizarre. Yeah. It's such a symptom of how sick we are.
Yes.
as a culture, and that our priorities are so skewed, and that this is sort of accentuated by our addiction to social media.
Yeah.
And that people are concentrating so much on things that are trivial and nonsensical. What's up?
Yeah.
I found an article on Reuters that said that like the mainstream media has been reporting on this. So like that, I'm looking through pages.
People just
to
aren't
find
paying
out
attention to it, man.
details on
Y'all paying attention to the
different
wrong stuff.
reporting of this.
400,000 kids disappear in the United States every year, bro. Every year, man. When I was downtown with some friends, like 2 years ago, there was dudes following us around, bro. And I'm pretty sure if I wasn't there with my two friends who were females, they probably would have got fucking kidnapped or some shit, used for sex trafficking. I don't know, but shit's real out here, man. They out here trying to send texts to little girls, trying to get them to respond so they know their location and all that. I want as many people to see this video as possible. It's just really something serious that everybody needs to be aware of, and everybody needs to start taking serious. But yeah, I'll see you next time, LB. Peace.